Well, good Monday morning to you. Welcome to our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy with Doctors Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition, located on Callan Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. We do this live every Monday morning, and then it's rebroadcast on Friday. So we open our phone lines to you as well, 896-0713, 800-349-0713. You can call up and talk to us live. If you don't want to be on the air, just pass your question along to our operator, and they'll be glad to pass the question along to us. So the weather's changing. Got up this morning, nice, brisk, damp, finally. Chilly. I'm gonna have to start getting my cap out, wearing that, so it'll be kind of chilly. But this is the time of the year, more so than any, it seems like, for everyone to deal with colds and flu.
Yeah, it's definitely the season.
And getting sick. And is there, okay, first I'm going to ask this. Is there any truth to the old grandma's story that don't go outside with your hair wet, you'll get sick?
Not really.
They've
never really shown that would do it. One of the things that happens this time of year, if you think about it, and, we do a lot of talking to people about this. One, we're starting to get into closed environments, you're not outside as much, things like that. Another thing, and they've actually looked at some of the research that shows that, this time of year, the vitamin D level starts going down because we haven't been out in the sun as much. So it starts going down, and as that happens, your immune system kind of gets a little faltery.
Which might be a bigger factor than the cold weather.
Yeah.
They're actually finding that's probably why, is because you're not outside, you're not getting the sun, you're not getting your vitamin D as much, and there's no doubt when we check vitamin D levels, it's definitely down during
this time of year.
So what we're going to talk about this morning really is things that things that you can put in, keep in your medicine cabinet that'll be great for you, that'll keep you from hopefully not having to go to a doctor, get prescriptions, get antibiotics that you don't need, and things like that.
Right, because colds and flus do not respond to antibiotics. A lot of people think, oh, I'm sick and need an antibiotic. Well, not necessarily, because you're just lowering your immune system. Now, if you start getting a secondary infection and a bacterial infection, different story. But, flu is a virus, and so is the common cold. So those are viruses, and so the best thing to do is to do things that are antiviral and things to keep the immune system strong.
Probiotics.
Probiotics is
big,
one of the big things that we were going to talk about today, one of the things that we always say is essential for your medicine cabinet, is it's actually a prebiotic, which means it feeds your probiotics, but at the same time it has a lot of immune-enhancing properties, and that is arabinogalactin. And that's something that we use a lot, especially during the winter months. And it comes from the larch tree. So it comes from a tree. And that tree, years ago, before the research started, that tree didn't get sick when the other trees around it did, so they started researching why. And they found that there's a substance in the bark. And that substance actually helps the immune system. And the good thing about it is, like I said, it's a prebiotic, so it feeds your probiotics. It increases your immune system, and it's so safe for kids. It is fine for pediatric use. We've had people use it in newborns. Just take a finger, stick it in there, stick it in
that's
the
the powder. Remember that? That's the powder stuff that you mentioned so many times before. Pat asks, can vitamin D help with pain?
Yes, certain types of pain.
Certain types of pain.
Well, put it this way. Low vitamin D can make you hurt all over. So if it is a vitamin D deficiency and you take vitamin D, then yes, it can help your pain. Now, say you have an injury, then taking vitamin D is not necessarily going to help that pain.
No.
It's going to only be if the pain is from a vitamin D deficiency, which many people's are when they just ache and hurt all over.
Especially this time of year.
Well, I was going to say, especially as you said, because you're not out in the sun that much.
And of course it gets a little colder and the joints get a little stiffer and all that. And then you throw on top of it, something like the vitamin D going down as well. It can. So this time of year, Pat, it's really important. Make sure you have your vitamin D level checked and get it and bring it back up into what we call the optimal levels, so that you can, prevent some of these, common viruses, things like that from getting you, and might even help with some of those certain pains and so on too.
There you go. Thanks for the call, Pat. And again, 896-0713, 800-349-0713. We are talking this morning about things that you need to have in your medicine cabinet for this time of the year because of cold and flu season. It was funny, I went online and MSN.com this morning. They had 6 things that you can do that mom's remedies,
grandma's remedies, right?
Grandma's remedies, and of course, the number one on the list, chicken soup.
Yep.
Chicken soup is
Agreed.
good for you, but and why is that? Why is chicken soup so good for us?
Chicken fat, is second only to coconut oil or coconut fat as far as how much lauric acid it has. And if you take lauric acid, combine it, you get what we call monolaurin. And it's one of the best antivirals going, really is. And we even have a compound called lauricidin, which is basically monolaurin.
It is monolaurin.
Yeah, so you can take it that way. But chicken soup has one of the highest contents, or chicken fat, has one of the highest contents of lauric acid, other than, like say, for instance, the coconut oil. And so and the lauric acid, once it gets in your gut, it'll combine it, and now you have this monolaurin, which is phenomenal for the immune system. I mean,
Right.
it's
So
great
if you
antiviral.
make chicken soup, make sure you leave the skin on.
Yeah, boil the whole thing. You want that
Yeah,
fat.
you want the fat from the chicken in order
okay.
to get
There-
that compound.
there
yeah.
you go.
So
You got to have the fat.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're too lazy to make your own and you go buy the canned stuff at the store, get the low sodium, probably the best thing.
I don't really recommend getting a lot of canned soup. So I always say, if you can't make your
It's
own,
just
come get
so
the
good.
lauricidin that we have, because that will give you the
Right,
same
you do
benefit.
that.
Yeah.
Chicken soup is one of the easiest things in the world
It
to make.
really
If you
is.
get yourself a crock pot, okay, put you a whole chicken in that guy with some water, put some things
Veggies
like
in there,
celery,
carrots and
celery,
celery,
stuff
Carrots
like
and
that,
celery and onions and garlic and
and cook it for days. I mean, gosh, the longer
Yeah,
it
you
cooks,
cook it on there low
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
like 8 to 10 hours.
or longer.
Yeah.
And then when you pick the chicken, a little
It'll
trick.
fall apart.
It'll fall apart. It really will. But then take the bone, the carcass, put it back in water and broth, and just go. Now you get yourself something called bone broth.
if you
And
boil it for a while
boil
and
it for a
drink
while.
that, that's
Really?
going to help too. Yeah, it helps
the bone
immune system
marrow
as well.
starts to get some of these properties of the bone marrow, which has got a lot of your immunoglobulins, things like that, and it starts to come out. You're talking about some good for you broth. Whoa!
See, you're getting a health and a cooking class
There
right
you
here
go.
this
Right
morning.
right.
Yeah, cooking
Well,
class.
you want it. That's why, like I said, you don't get a lot of that stuff when you just go buy canned soup.
Nah.
And you get a lot of things in that canned soup you don't want.
Right.
So, I
Probably
mean,
sugar and everything else.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you don't want. So always, I mean, it's easy to make your own. People need to start cooking a little bit more themselves again.
All right. 896-0713, 800-349-0713 is our phone. They are our phone lines. You can call in toll free from anywhere in our viewing area. We will be right back in just a moment here on Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy. And welcome back to our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy with Drs. Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition. They're located on Cowan Road in Gulfport. They're open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, Monday through Friday from 10 till 5, Saturdays 11 till 2. The doctors are there themselves on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday now. And of course, they.
And we do have a Dr.
Dr. May's
May.
there.
Dr.
on
Mays, he's there.
Wednesday and Friday.
A great guy. He's
be
there on Thursday, Wednesday,
Wednesday
and
and
Friday.
Friday, yes.
Yeah.
So-
So there's somebody there every day.
Now 5 days a week we do have a doctor there, but we are there Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Yeah.
Very good. So, and
Yep.
once again, you never need an appointment, and the consultations are absolutely free.
Right.
Find that at a regular doctor's office. It won't happen. Anyway, we're talking about things that you need to have in your cabinet for this cold and flu season, or some other natural remedies. Honey. Honey, compared to some cough suppressants, honey can be used just as effective at reducing the frequency and severity of cough. It's good to mix it into some hot tea or lemon water.
Yeah, it's good to soothing for the throat.
You have beehives, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want a whole bunch at one time.
No.
Yeah, but yeah. And don't stick your hand in it.
No.
Not good.
He's done that.
I've done that. It's not good. But needless to say, the honey, yeah, it's very soothing to the throat. There's no doubt. And one of the things that you need to be conscious of, at the first sign of any of these symptoms, that's when you want to start. You don't
Right.
want to wait 3 days
No.
and say, well, it's going
Right,
to go
'cause
away.
there's even some.
Yeah.
I mean, there's even some research from the Mayo Clinic about zinc lozenges,
Right.
and zinc lozenges people have heard of for the throat. And there's been mixed. They say, well, there's mixed information out there whether it works or not. Well, they say it does work if you do it within the first 24 hours.
Right.
Now, with the zinc lozenges, you want to do about 75 milligrams, but you don't want to do it long term. You only want to do it while you're sick. But it definitely has been shown to shorten the duration. And they think that the reason it does that is because it keeps the virus from replicating. So if you already have it replicating, then it's kind of too late. And a lot of these things are the same way. So even the arabinogalactin, we have tons of people that keep that in their cabinet. The minute they see anything, everybody in the family starts taking it. Because even if someone around you is sick and you're not sick, you can do some of these things to keep from getting sick.
getting sick. That's-
Go
yeah,
ahead
that's
and
a
boost
biggie.
your immune system. If everybody in your house is sick, but you're not yet, you want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
So there's things that you can do. Now, another one of our must
Oh, yeah.
for the medicine cabinet is
your pen.
something called Olivir.
And we talk about that a lot.
Yes,
We did.
Really
and
do.
we use olive oil a lot, but it is an antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasite, so it actually has a lot of properties. Now, the olive oil itself is a little bit different than other olive leaf extracts.
It
And we
is.
did want to mention that because years ago, the research on olive leaf started back in the 60s with Upjohn, which is a pharmaceutical company, and they were looking to make a drug out of it. Well, what they found was it clinged to proteins in the body once you took it, and it only worked for about 15 minutes, 15, maybe 30 minutes. And that wasn't long enough to really help. So they finally dumped the research and didn't use it because they couldn't figure out how to get it active. Well, there was a biotech company in the 90s that did figure out how to keep it. What they did was no one knows what they did because they didn't have, it's proprietary.
They won't tell you.
On what they did to keep it from binding to a protein, but it doesn't. And so it does work, but not all olive leaf extracts are olivir. So it's olivir. And that is what we use. We're not the only ones that have it.
Oh,
That
no.
is
A lot of
actually
people
a
have it.
raw material. But to me, if you're going to do olive leaf extract, you do need olivir. And it's great. Another one that you want to take the minute you see something going on. I mean, if you start,
Well,
having...
that's kind of the secret to any of these things. If you keep it in your medicine chest,
Right.
the first sign of anything, whether it's a scratchy throat or something just not feeling quite right, go start
Right.
immediately.
And
Get that
olivir-
chicken soup out even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Olivir has been tested for the flus. It's been tested for all your common colds and the rotavirus and all that stuff,
Right.
and it's been shown effective. So the good thing is it's been specifically tested with the flu and shown that it actually helps it. So do it. I mean, oregano and olive leaf are probably the two big things we say to start with in the medicine cabinet.
That's the two biggies.
There's
that
other
everybody
things
keeps.
too, but that's the two biggies.
And I wanted to just jump back for just a second. I was talking about the honey. Don't
Yeah.
go to your grocery store and just buy the stuff.
Well,
that's
no,
got it.
because
You want raw honey.
That's
actually, you want
full
raw.
of sugar.
No, well, all of it's full of sugar.
Yeah.
I can't. That one's kind of all honey sugar, but what at the grocery store can be cut with sugar.
Someone says, I always keep Neosporin in my medicine cabinet for cuts. Do you recommend that?
Something like that, yeah, it's a good idea. That and hydrogen peroxide is another very good one. I mean, I
Yeah.
think you need the hydrogen peroxide to boil it out. And something
And
else that we
something-
use is
the colloidal
silver. And we
That-
actually have it in a gel.
A gel that
Yeah.
you can put on, and it's antibacterial as well. So yeah, you don't want, if you do get a big cut or something, you don't want it to get infected. So a lot of times putting something that is antibacterial.
Yeah, wash it out
on
real good
Yeah.
with some good soap,
And,
antibacterial
and we
soap.
even have a tea tree antiseptic cream that you can
Yeah,
use. So if
there's
you
all
don't
sorts
want the
of stuff, yeah.
chemicals that's in Neosporin, we definitely have natural versions, but you do want something in your medicine cabinet for cuts.
And you always want to make sure in that medicine chest, I mean, this person just kind of brought it up, having something like Neosporin, make sure you got some bandages. I mean, it's simple Band-Aid stuff, and you can get the, allergic-free stuff, which
Oh, yeah.
I have to have because
Yes.
they break me out horribly. But we keep, quite a good stock of it because I'm always going to do something that's going to cut
It's
me
always
or-
good to have a good first aid kit. in
It
your home.
always is good to have a first aid kit. It really is.
It really is, because you never know when some little accident will happen.
That's
And I
right.
found out the hard way a few weeks ago just how bad you can bleed by
When
nicking
you
your ear. Wow, I mean that was bad. Something else. I know my cameraman Flip swears by these neti pots.
Yes.
Yes.
A lot of people use
Neti
them.
pots are really good, and
Yeah.
you put salt in it, and that salt does
Well,
help.
they come with a solution. I mean, something to mix in with them.
Yeah, well, most of them have got some sort of salt or
And
they
it's
use
usually
a salt
base.
solution.
Yeah.
Now there's you can get all kind of stuff for neti pots. You can
Oh,
get
yeah.
even the antiviral and antibacterial herbal stuff that you can mix with it as well. But just rinsing out the nasal cavity definitely helps keep you from getting sick, because we have tons of viruses and bacteria in our nose all the time. It's just when it gets overgrown. So
Yeah,
if you
it's-
keep it washed out, that does help. So neti pots are also really good for this time
Right.
of the year.
Of course, getting the hang of using one of those.
Yeah, it is. It's a
little tough, but,
bit.
you
A
know,
little
you gotta
messy, using the
yeah,
gravity and
gotta
everything.
get used to it, yeah.
Speaking of salt, how about gargling your
Salt
throat
water?
with salt
Yeah.
water?
Yeah, use something like sea salt, that's got a lot of
Yeah.
different minerals and stuff in it. But yeah, a lot of people get, like I say, that's a very good warm, now not hot, but warm
Right.
sea salt in some water and just gargle with it, and it really does, because salt will kill just about anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
salt-
seriously. That's one of the
You
things
pour
about
salt
it.
in your yard, you're going to kill it.
Yeah, try it.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
true.
if you think about it, salt it does kill things.
It kills things.
Mary from Biloxi is on the phone. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, good morning. First of all, I love y'all's show.
Well, thank you.
And
Thank you.
I absolutely love Doctor's Nutrition, and that's why I wanted to call.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I'm trying to find out, with the old additive that when it gets cold, your bones are hurting more.
Yes.
Is there something that we could take over the counter that's not a medication or a prescription that could possibly help alleviate some of the pain of people that might have arthritis, like my mother. She just absolutely hates the cold, and she says her bones crack, and it's just so painful to see. Is there anything y'all could recommend for a, medicine pack or in your medicine kit for those kind of days?
Yeah, there really is. I think a few weeks ago or so, Mary, I think we talked about some of it on the show. It's called Perna Max. Perna is a shellfish. It comes from New Zealand. And that particular thing, it's been researched, tremendously. Matter of fact, we had on our radio show that we do at night, on an internet radio show, we had a Dr. Kendall with us, and he used to hold patents. And as a matter of fact, I think he still does hold a patent on some of the Perna and some of its applications. But this Perna has all 9 classes of your glucosamines. It has your chondroitins. It has, everything you can think of.
And then on our Perna Max, we add back to it Boswellia, which is anti-inflammatory, MSM.
Right.
There's so many things you can do. We even have another product called Phyto 4 that is kind of like your natural ibuprofen, if you have to say.
And it works.
Because it's fast acting.
Right.
A lot of the natural stuff, you have to take it a while to make it work, but this one, it works within about 30 minutes.
It really does.
So,
it has an extract of hops, like you would make your beer with, but it's the hops, and it's called Perluxin. And they actually have patents on Perluxin because of how fast it works as far as pain relief.
Inflammation.
Right.
So that's a good one for, and also a lot of times during the winter, people are not as active, and that's one reason the joints, because there's been research that says that really arthritis does not get worse in the degeneration area. If they do x-rays, it's really not showing that it worsens, but the stiffness a lot of times comes from the inactivity during the winter months and the cold.
And the cold.
So exercise.
Yeah.
I'm moving. It doesn't have to be hard exercise.
In a
just
warm
anything
environment.
and even some of the, if you have a hot bath and move those joints.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
Thanks for the call, Mary.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
All right, 8960713, 800-349-0713 are our phone lines. We will be back in a moment with our final segment and this week's special from Doctor's Nutrition. All right. And welcome back. Our final segment this morning at Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy with Doctor's Nutrition. Jim and Janine Fox. We have this every Monday morning live, and then this is rebroadcast on Friday. Talking about things this morning that you need to have in your medicine chest, for cold and flu season. Just kind of natural things or normal things. Barbara from Gulfport has a question. Good morning, Barbara.
Morning.
Good morning.
What can we do for you, Barbara?
I'm sorry, my dog barked. Say it again, please.
What can we do for you?
Oh, okay. I have a pacemaker and defibrillator, and I take medicine for cholesterol, triglycerides, diabetes, and of course the heart. I didn't have a heart attack. I just had a virus get on my heart.
Okay.
Right.
And I didn't know if y'all had pills that could replace the chemical pills that I take. I know you'd have to see my prescription.
Right.
Right.
That would be individual, and there are some things you can and some things you might not can.
Yeah.
And like I said, with the diabetes, definitely we can talk to you about changing your diet. And like I said, there's a lot of things. So if you come by and bring your
Medication.
everything in, we'll sit down and go over it with
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Thank
Sounds
you.
like a plan.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Barbara.
Thank you very much. All right, Susan from Van Cleve has a remedy she wants to talk about.
Okay.
All right,
What you
Susan?
got, Susan?
Yes, I didn't know until just a few weeks ago that Vicks Vapor Rub, it's something we all have in our medicine cabinets.
Oh, yeah.
And it is very good for arthritis.
It can be.
It can. Now, natural world, we use eucalyptus, which is basically the menthol, the same thing. So it's the menthol that actually helps.
Right.
And there's a lot of rubs out there for arthritis that contain menthol. So
But the Vicks is the only thing that I found that really helps my knees for the arthritis and my hands.
okay,
Okay,
well,
good deal. Yeah.
You know, I've tried the other rubs. I've tried, I don't want to go the, pills because I don't like to take medicines.
Okay.
But the Vicks is very good. But like you said, the menthol in it is what helps.
Yep, the
It
menthol.
sure does.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
Something simple
Thank
and yet
you.
effective.
Yep.
All right. Of course, Vicks is usually, the eucalyptus and everything, when I get all stopped up and everything.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
got
that's
the
another
thing
thing.
where
Not just
sinuses,
for
yeah.
arthritis,
wiping it
but
under your nose and all
sinuses.
that.
We even have a little nose
Inhaler.
inhaler. Well, we really
It's an
written a
inhaler.
inhaler, but you stick it in your nose and sniff. So
Well,
I
you
guess
inhale through it. Yeah.
Right. So,
What else
but
would you
it
call it?
has the eucalyptus in it, and you can just carry it in your purse. And that
okay.
way,
Yeah.
it's kind of for cold and flu season. And
I don't
if you
think it
need,
fit in my purse.
You don't think it would?
Well, you don't think it could? You don't think it would?
Whatever.
Get a bigger purse.
Actually, he has a purse bigger than mine. So
It's the man purse.
he does have a man
It's the man
purse.
purse. All right, 8960713, 800-349-0713. We just have a few minutes left this morning's program. If you have a question that you want to call and ask the doctors regarding our subject this morning, things to have in your medicine chest.
We can talk about a few other things that we use a lot. I mean, there's actually so many herbals that help with the viruses and colds.
Oh, yeah.
We have something called immune response. That's your combination of mushrooms and arabinogalactin, and it like I said, it has astragalus in it, which astragalus by itself works to boost the immune system. There's elderberry.
There's so many of these.
There's so many different
herbs, like elderberry, like astragalus, like the various mushroom compounds. All of them tend to help boost your immune system.
Right.
And because they do that through the gut, sort of like the arabinogalactin does, increases your what we call a SIGA, which is a secretory immunoglobulin A. And that's the first sign that your body knows that, hey, something's wrong. And when SIGA goes up, it tells the rest of the immune system, okay, guys, get busy, because we got an invader coming in. And so that's what you want, is something to kick that immune system in gear.
And
really.
in the natural world, there are so many antivirals and antibacterial.
Lordy.
I mean, there really are. So there's a lot of stuff you can do for the cold and flu. Even your oregano is another good one. We don't use echinacea as much as some because I don't find it as effective as some of the other things that we use.
It's not as effective as
Because I
some of the
remember
other
years
things.
ago you say echinacea with golden seal was always a...
And golden seal probably works better than echinacea, but golden seal will increase the blood pressure. So you got to be careful with some people. It depends on the person if you can use golden seal or not. So it just depends on the person. But we have many different things. That's kind of one of the things we wanted to get out. But there's a few, like I said, the ones we think you should always have is the olivir, the arabinogalactin, the zinc lozenges, even your liposomal C. Vitamin C. There's all. This study says, well, it don't work for colds. This one says it does work for colds. I think there's more studies that say it does work than doesn't. So keeping your vitamin C levels up.
All right, let's show you the specials for this week. If we have that, we can pop up for you.
Yeah, it's the arabinogalactin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we decided to put that on sale because it can even be given to a baby, so everybody in the family can take arabinogalactin.
It is totally safe.
Yes.
We've actually used it on babies that were just a few days old, that started having the sniffles and so on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Susan is in town from Iowa.
Wow.
Visiting and wants watching the show this morning. Welcome to the coast, Susan. Wants to know where to get Pernamax. It's P-R-N-A.
Yeah, Perna, but that's okay.
Pernamax, but you get it
Doctor's
at
Nutrition.
Actually,
Doctor's Nutrition.
it is a product that we get made for us. So it is only available through us at Doctor's Nutrition, and we have a location here, or you can get online at doctorsnutrition.com.
And we ship to
We ship
Iowa.
all over the country, so we do ship it to everywhere.
All right, and thanks for the call, Susan.
Yeah.
So, once again, we have people from all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
who watch
That's
us,
good.
Run into people a lot that enjoy watching the show and learn a lot, too.
We get a lot of people from out of town when they're here, and then they come back in later and mail order for years. So we get a lot from out of town.
All right. Okay, let's see. We're about to wind out of time here. I think we got like maybe a minute or two left, but one other thing. Peppermints.
Yes.
Peppermint, Susan, upset stomach.
Right.
Peppermint tea.
Especially, if you start getting one of those stomach viruses or something, the peppermint teas.
You really want the peppermint teas and not the candy that is full of sugar. So you don't want peppermint candy. A lot of times has no peppermint nowadays. It's just,
Really?
No, they
It's
use
an
a
artificial
flavoring.
peppermint.
They use artificial
It's
flavoring.
faux peppermint?
It's faux peppermint.
Faux peppermint,
So
right.
if you're going to do peppermint, you want the real thing and you get the tea.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you for being with us this morning. Next week, going to kind of continue this, talk about other common problems.
Other problems that you have during the winter other than cold and flu.
Okay.
Yep.
And
That'll be fun, too.
that's a broad spectrum.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks again for being with us. Doctor's Nutrition open Monday through Saturday. They're located on Cowan Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. And don't forget to be careful out there. The roads are still a little bit slick this morning. Wrap up warm and give them a call.